All right, guys, it is September 24th. I am home from an Essence tour in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which was amazing. I got to see Danielle there and several other team members. I'm not seeing anyone else on the call, but then we went to ICU, and it was an unbelievable ICU. And I've lost track of how many I've gone to now. I do the 4 core every single year. Often, if there's 2 ICUs in a year, I'll go to 2 of them, which I did this year. I went to Philadelphia, which I thought Philadelphia was amazing. And then this one was just even better. Yeah, every time I get home from a conference, I think, how on earth are they going to get any better? And they continue to get better and better and better. And it's because they attract such unbelievable leaders to train, and we have one of them with us tonight, and I'm so excited to share her with you guys. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Dr. DelRae. I met her at an event a few years ago, and to me, watching her grow so quickly in this industry has been so inspiring. So I really want to get into how she was able to build such a successful business quickly. So hopefully you guys will get some great nuggets tonight. A little bit about her. She's been with the company now for a little over 3.5 years. She is a 7-star Golden Circle, 12-star Crystal Executive. So again, that's the number that just fires me up. She's not only creating a great income for herself, but she's rising up a lot of leaders and teaching them and mentoring them and helping them become successful as well. So we'll ask her a little bit about that. She's millionaire number 257. So to do that in such a short period of time, she's doing a lot of things well, and I'm excited to share that with you. She has 2 beautiful daughters. They are her why, and when she talks about them on stage, she can bring you to tears, and her story is just so wonderful, and I'm going to ask her to really start off by delving into her story. She was a great trainer at ICU. We got to hear from her a couple different times, but she did a whole social media training, which we'll ask her a little bit about tonight too. So DelRae, thank you so much for getting on the call with us tonight. We are so excited to have you here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Look at all these beautiful faces. I'm so pumped. Babies, I got mine running around in the background. So Katie's up. I love it.
Yeah, it's so cool. So if you wouldn't mind, let's just start with your story. I love how you were the developer of your own nutraceutical line. So you'd already done all the work that Isogenics did, and you were selling that line. And I love how you came from that. And then share with everyone how you met Angelique and how that all happened and what brought you here.
Yeah, so I am a chiropractor by trade, retired now. I didn't last very long in an office setting because I love flexibility of my time, and I was just being tied to my time. And adjustment hours were when my daughter was going to go to school, and I couldn't drop her off at school or pick her up. It was early mornings, late nights, a lot of marketing events on the weekends. So I just felt like there was so much time, being spent in an office setting, and I realized I was going to always have a financial ceiling and an income that was tied to my time. I also realized no matter what, it was going to require me to be there. No one else wanted to do the work for me. So I knew I needed to switch the business model. So my bright idea was that I developed my own nutraceutical line, simply because I was really passionate about nutrition, always from a young age as an athlete. That wasn't very naturally talented. I had to do everything I could to increase my competitive edge. And I had a chiropractor as a close family friend that taught me a lot about nutrition. And I just saw the lack of integrity in the industry. So I thought, you know what, I think I really want to go into this. I want to learn about manufacturing and formulation and do it the right way. And oh my gosh, an online business would give me the flexibility to design my days around my daughter, my older daughter at the time. The only thing I didn't know was how, number one, expensive it would be, capital to start, capital to continue to market. I cannot even tell you what it feels like to try and make a label without a mistake on it. Put together a product line. I put together a cookbook, fulfillment, customer service, website. I did all the marketing. So once again, I was a solo entrepreneur wearing every single hat in the business. So I found myself losing my passion for what I loved the most, because I wasn't able to do what I loved, and that was do this and talk to all of you. I love leadership, and I love, talking to people. And I'll be honest, I said no to Isagenix for 7 years. I was that skeptical about network marketing. I wanted nothing to do with it. I had a degree behind my name. I worked very hard and paid a lot of money for a degree. So I thought, why would I do something that somebody else down the street could do? So if you guys are talking to people that are closed-minded, I will tell you timing is everything, and just listening to what people want. Every single person approached me about money, and I am not money motivated. I needed a vehicle that would give me more time, flexibility with my girls, and would allow me to make a bigger impact in people's lives. Those were my two reasons why. And Angelique presented it that way. So I had been told about Isagenix. I even told Kathy Cooper no before I started my own line. And you know that she kind of goes like, looks at me cross-eyed, like, good luck with that. You'll be back. But I think that there's a lot of us that maybe have just waited until a time where timing is truly everything. So I know for a couple of my executives, it took a couple years of follow-up before someone was truly ready to dive in. So just know that patience is really important when it comes to that, and truly listening to what people want, and their ideal life versus what we think people want. Because it's not money, it's what money can do as a vehicle for people that, that really want something for their ideal life.
Sure. So how was that perfect storm then? Did Angelique find you at just that perfect timing, or had she been on you for so long and finally you were just like, all right, I'll listen? How did that go down?
Yeah, I was definitely a creeper on Facebook of all things Isagenix for a couple of years. I remember holding Gianna as a newborn, and I scrolled. I was watching, and I guess what I envied the most was the lifestyle. I saw a lot of people having fun. I saw people collaborating, going on trips, but they had their families with them. And that was a big deal for me as I was rocking this little, you're welcome, Randy and Jody. As I was rocking her to sleep, she was like 6 weeks old. And I thought to myself, like, I can't do this anymore. There's no way I can go on another day with my business. I had no time off. I had no maternity leave. Like, it had to run. I had to get paid. And, when I talked to Angelique, it was the absolute right timing. And I knew that I couldn't have one foot in and one foot out. Like, I knew that I couldn't continue to do my business for a couple of sales here and there, and then kind of sort of do Isagenix. I dumped about $100,000 in products down the toilet because I had to be all in. And maybe, some of you are sitting on the call like, I feel like I'm all in some days and then I'm not, or you're consistent and then lose focus. And there's so many distractions. And every single time I would think about my little one, especially, and my older daughter, I was like, do I have the time to do this? Do I have the energy to do this again? This is the third time around. Can I actually muster up what it's going to take? And I knew it was going to take prioritizing of my time, but I kept looking at them and thinking, if I'm going to use them as the excuse, my life is not going to change. So I had to prioritize them and make them my reason why. And it was so important to me to not feel the way that I did, financially especially. It was exhausting to continually look into my bank account and wonder if I was going to be okay.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's talk about, you went from that place saying yes finally to Isagenix, probably having your only regret being you wish you would have said yes sooner. But again, it's timing. Like, if you would have said yes sooner, maybe you wouldn't have been in the right place mentally to really give this your all. So I truly believe in the perfect timing. But then how have you achieved such great success so quickly? Because it can take some people 10 years to hit millionaire status. So tell us how you got started with this, and what did you do? Who did you talk to?
It did take me 10 years. So don't look at my Isagenix story and say she hit millionaire in 3.5 years. It was a decade of doing the do and developing skills and communicating. sitting at a mall kiosk asking people to get their spine checked. I did this of, I would say, network marketing for so long. So please do not compare your story. And especially a lot of the leaders, it's so easy to get caught up in comparison. I know you guys hear it all the time, but really, truly, like, look at how you feel about your business right now. And do you give yourself grace? I mean, we need to find more joy in progress and joy in the journey, because you're not going to want to get out there and get into action if you don't feel good about falling on your face. I know that when I sat at that mall kiosk, I would have people tell me I was crazy. Like, you're a quack. You are not a real doctor. I was told no. So if I talked to 200 people, 20 people would come in the office and about 2 of them would start. But it was the main chunk of the business every single month. It just took so much grit to do that. And that's why I'm going to be so honest with you, because I feel like those conversations allowed me to learn how to authentically connect, ask the right questions, ask somebody to come into the office. So do you see, it was those same conversations? So multiply 10,000 conversations to my isogenic start, and that's where I started. So you may be at the mall kiosk right now. And I always share that openly, because it's just not fair for people to take a look at your business, anything less than 7 years. That 7-year mark, you can start to wonder if you're good at network marketing or not. But where are you at right now? 7 years is what I told myself I'd give myself at this business specifically, and then judge whether I'm good at it or not. So that's a little bit about the start. I was literally passion on fire. I had no idea what I was doing. I wrote out Map to Crystal Executive in lipstick on my bathroom mirror. No joke. And I thought, you know what? I need to fill in names. Literally, that's what I did. I had no idea how I was paid for 2 weeks. I didn't know what BV was. Couldn't grasp the concept of business volume. And I was diligent on learning it because my girls depended on me. So every single morning I would get up and I'd elliptical to Kathy Cooper and Jim Cooper, and I would watch something that Kathy had, and then I'd watch the comp plan for a half an hour. And every single day, just repeatedly, I would listen to it: PIB, double PIB, executive match, get to executive. This is what, so it was a hunger and burning desire to know it. And I think that that's the one thing that I always question with people that want executives on their team. I'm like, how well do you know the comp plan? How well could you map out every single detail? Do you know it like the back of your hand? Because that comes, a place of confidence and certainty and casting a vision for other people's lives has to come from a place of solid belief, not a kind of sort of belief, a solid belief that we have the best comp plan in the industry with the best products. And so that was just a little bit about the beginning.
Yeah. Don't you think, I didn't go to this ICU event because I needed more certainty. My belief is so strong that my team can borrow my belief if they don't have it yet. But didn't you walk away from that with your belief like exploded on fire?
Always. It's that energy through events that's huge. Absolutely.
I mean, hearing from all the top leaders talking about this being the absolute best comp plan they've ever seen. Emily Vavra was amazing on it. So it just like, I didn't go there needing that, but I certainly came home with it, which was awesome. All right, so let's talk about, so you probably were pretty well connected and had a bigger network when you got started than a brand new person, maybe that's never been in the industry before. So let's talk about that. How does one build their network? Where can they meet people to grow their friends list on Facebook, grow their Instagram? Tell us a little bit about how you've done that.
Yeah, I did have a big network, but I had told them about like 3 different things before. So I was also starting from that place of, I swear this is it this time. I had products that I used in the office, then I developed my own line, and then it was isogenics. So it was also one of those things where I really questioned my credibility at that point, or would people trust me? Would they trust that what I was doing? And I was really, really nervous about that. But I told them that, you only know what you know. at the time. And the reason why I was transitioning was because it was taking me away from my family, taking me away from my passion. I found something that sidelined the core values that I have of integrity and quality and purity, no compromise products, but more importantly, a culture and community that we could all start building together. So when I went to my network, it was truly about the vision. And I believe you can do this with anyone that you're talking to with that conviction. So when I started with my list of, okay, I'm going to do, a challenge of some sort when I first started for product users. But I sat down, and I really mapped out my Map to Crystal Executive. Those first, I'd say probably 60 people that I wrote down that I wanted as my team members, they had qualities, characteristics. They had a heart of service. They had so much integrity. They were business owners. They were people that you'd probably consider your chicken list for most people, but those were the people that I went to first. And the reason why is because I knew that they would catch the vision and go to executive with me at the same time. Because if I'm anything, I am literally the most consistent, persistent person. What is a chicken list, says Kim? It's kind of those people that you're like, oh, they would never need this. They have a successful business. Or would they even listen to me? Would they trust me? And I complimented them and I asked them for their opinion because I valued it so much. And I told them exactly what we were going to be doing that we're doing right now. Like, I want to travel with you. I want to see the world with you. I want to make a huge impact in healthcare with you. And I just asked if they were open to taking a look. And I started those. I'm finding it's all about trust. Absolutely, Katie. And trust, comes from a place of credibility, and credibility comes from consistency, doing what you say you're going to do, and going all in. No one trusts somebody that's all in and then all out. That's just what I tell my leaders. I'm like, you have to go first. You have to represent what you want to see in other people and the action that you want to see from other people. So that was a little bit about the start. And then as far as continuing, I mean, maybe some of you have felt like you've tapped out your warm list, all the hearts, says Lori. If you feel like you've tapped out your warm list, you just have to start getting really good at connecting with people, and it's, from, I think it was 6 people in Chicago, from the Uber driver to waitress to somebody that I just met in the hotel, one person in the gym, and they're just such natural conversations. Even at Trader Joe's today, the gal checking me out, she said, wow, you're buying a lot of food. I'm like, yeah, I have 2 girls. My boyfriend has 2 boys. We eat a lot and we eat super healthy. Thank goodness that I have really convenient superfood nutrition to complement all of this whole food. And she's like, huh? So I shared my 30-second story, and she's a single mom of 3 girls. So we had that in common, and she's brand new to Minneapolis. And I said, you know what? I am absolutely obsessed with welcoming new moms, and especially single moms, into our community. I would love to invite you to our next Healthy Happy Hour so you can meet some of the women that I've surrounded myself with. And I love supporting, people. So I invited her to that. So it's just constantly kind of eyes up, ears open, asking those questions and finding common ground wherever you go. And if you think Isagenix is saturated, we got to just check that right now. It's just not. People are everywhere that absolutely need this. So I'm just constantly adding to that list by meeting new people. And I personally just really love people, and I love learning more about them and their story. And I just walk around thinking, where is there a struggle or a challenge in their life that I could help them with, even if it's not Isagenix. There was a new mom I met at the park, and I brought her some meals. I remember how hard it was to even cook when you just immediately have a baby. That's the last thing you think about. So I just brought her a few Lifetime meals, and I just said, hey, I hope this helps. And we had talked about Isagenix, and she wants to stay home and work from home. But obviously with a brand new baby, now's not the time to talk about that. But I'll circle back around. Once that baby is about 4 weeks to 6 weeks old, I know you can start seeing straight again. But I just wanted to shower her with some love until then.
Yep, awesome. So I heard you say sip and samples. So do you still do them?
Heck yes, all the time. I will never ask my team to do something I'm not willing to do. And plus, I enjoy it. I do sweat and samples and healthy happy hours, coffee dates, play dates, all the things that I did at the beginning.
Yeah, I do too. And I think people think once you get successful, you hit six figures or certainly hit millionaire, that we stop doing these things. But these are the things that continue to grow our business. And I know, we'll talk about the challenges that Emily Vavra had put out there for us at ICU at the end. But we're always looking to bring in a new class. We're always looking for that new energy of a new enrollment and a new product user and new results. It just changes everything for us. So I'm glad you still do them too. That's awesome. And I heard you talk about when you were doing your training, doing the sneak peek and then inviting people. Can you share a little bit about that? Because there's a lot, we have a lot of people on this call that weren't able to be with us at ICU.
Yeah, it was very successful. And it came out of a struggle and a challenge. And that struggle and challenge was, how many of you talk to people that are really nervous to cleanse, right? Or they're like, you tell them about the protocol and they look at you like you're absolutely crazy, or there's no way that they could do that, when we all know how amazing it is, but they may need to just take a sneak peek. And what I was finding with groups, like if you have a product group, is that people can get lost in there or a little bit overwhelmed. So what I love a Facebook chat thread, and I asked people to opt in if they want to take a sneak peek at an intermittent fast day. And I posted in that chat hour by hour what we did, and then also supported it with the benefit of whatever product we were talking about. So that was extremely helpful. It led to a lot of enrollments. And it was that, I would say, that little touch that people needed to just simply realize, oh, I can do this. And then when you have other people on the team in that group, they can chime in with maybe their before and after, or a quick little note about what they have addressed since cleansing. And remember, it's not just all the good stuff. It's before I was feeling, and now that I have been doing intermittent fasting for, a lot of us have been around for 3 years. There's something to be said about that. We're not just on product for a month. This is 3 years of a healthy lifestyle. So what does that look like? Why are you cleansing once a week? So that was just awesome. I loved it. And it's really fun to do. I don't know about you, but I don't like to cleanse alone. It's not fun.
I want to expand on this because I think it's a great idea, and our team hasn't heard about this that I know of. So I'd love a little more detail. So you put this out on Instagram and Facebook, inviting people to take a sneak peek, and then you invited them to just a Facebook chat, not a group, not your product page, just a chat. And then how did you share with them? Were you cleansing that day, and did you do video, or
Yep.
How did you share?
Yeah, so I would do a little video clip, or post, let's just say natural accelerator. What is it? What's the benefit of taking it? So even just grabbing a little PDF or like a screenshot from isaproduct.com and posting it right after you post that product. So if you think about the perfect cleanse day and all the products that you're using, it's just a great way to hour by hour show people. And I had some people leave the group. I mean, of 82 people in there, I think maybe 3 people left the group, but that's okay. It's going to happen. And for the rest of them, a lot of them got started.
That's awesome. So I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a great idea. That was one of my things. When I'm at an event, I just take notes and I star all the things that I want to circle back to. And I starred that, double started. I'm like, oh, that's something I'd like to do. Awesome.
And think about doing that in your stories, or even if you've had people that have been on the fence for a while, you guys, if you have them on your list and they haven't started yet, circle back around and say, hey, I know we've chatted about, isogenics before, and I know you were interested in, the nutritional cleanse. Hey, would you love to just take a sneak peek, for a day and what it looks like? And that helped a lot of our team get, some of those people that were just on the fence for so long to get started.
Yeah, I think that's something we should really take on, guys. I think that would really be a big help. How about, would you mind sharing, another thing you shared was interviewing happy product users. How does that look? How have you done that?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have your resistant happy product user and you're sitting there like, why aren't you sharing your amazing results? And sometimes you don't want to turn off a happy product user because we all know it's about blessing other people's lives, helping them get their products paid for. But some people just aren't comfortable going live themselves or posting themselves. So I just said, hey, would you be open to me interviewing you for 5 minutes, just asking a question and you answering the question. So usually it's me crafting their 30-second story. So, how long they have been using superfood nutrition, when we met, how we met. And I personally love that because I think a lot of times when you see companies and before and afters, a lot of people don't know if that person knows that person. If you've personally helped this person get results like this, I think that is amazing. It's why I have my happy product users tag me in their power posts. You want that. You want, even if it's, honestly, you guys, even if it's a small win, ask them to post that and tag you, because a lot of people are sleeping better. They're waking up more energized. They're playing with kids, even if it's, and when they text you that, I always just say, hey, I can guarantee there are so many people out there struggling with what you were just 5 days ago. Imagine how many people we could bless with this. Would you be open to posting that and tagging me? And then I'll just interview them. So the Facebook Live interview is a really great way to expose their network to their story, because lives get all of the views. So that's a really great thing to do. You just share your screen and go live and interview them.
I love that idea. Have you had anyone that maybe hadn't started sharing yet, but you interviewed them and then they started to get people asking and then they ended up sharing after the fact?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening. So there's nugget number 2 if you haven't gotten 2 down yet, guys. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, I was messaging with DelRae earlier saying, all right, what are you putting into action after ISA U2? So let's talk a little bit about that. When you sat through all the training in the front row taking notes, just like I was there taking notes, what are you implementing? Because I want to give everyone an action plan that they can follow too, starting immediately to help them finish this year strong.
Absolutely. So we finished up a little fall challenge. So that was really great. Now we're going to do round 2. The Bedtime Belly Buster has always worked really well for us for kind of a round 2 of a group that we've gotten together. So we're going to be launching that, and that has done really well for my network. And I'll tell you, there's things that I've done that can have completely flopped, that have not done well at all. But I just am so used to trying many things until something sticks, and even timing wise, what people are looking for. So I'm going to be doing that, and I am always consistent but when I bump up the amount of either intention that I have around enrollments or rank advancements, I will blitz. And blitzing to me, I do every month anyway at the beginning of the month, but it sets up so many conversations so that I always have people in the pipeline. So if you've never done a blitz, it's super fun to get people together, to do reach outs together. You learn from verbiage. I did this from the very beginning because I realized people needed to know what I was saying. So I would either get a bunch of people on a Zoom or get them in a living room and have fun with it. We'd have kids playing. We would hire a babysitter and just have a good time, even sometimes on a Sunday with football in the background, crock pots going. It's just a great thing to do together. And my intention is to always make conversations joyful for people instead of feeling stressed out about it. So it's always the action behind it that I want people to enjoy, whether it's the presentation, the healthy happy hour, the blitzing. So yeah, I'm going to be doing the 10 reach outs, 10 follow-ups, and then, really shoot for that 30 and 30 presentations.
Yeah, I didn't know if you even got to see Emily's presentation because you did the 3 boot camps yourself. But Emily Vavra did a fabulous presentation on 10 reach outs a day, 10 follow-ups a day, and 1 presentation a day, really challenging us and sharing with us that if we do these things every single day and we're intentional, that we should enroll 15 people by the end of the year, go to New Year's kickoff, hear about the biggest incentive that Isagenix has ever done, and be ready to go with that. So that's what I plan on doing too. Will you share with everyone what a reach out is to you versus a follow-up? Like how do you differentiate doing 10 reach outs a day, 10 follow-ups a day, and 1 presentation? What does that look like?
I mean, I am a big stickler on a reach out, not being like, hey, how are you today? Or how's the weather? Mine is literally, I consider a reach out that I've shared my 30-second story. And I think that is a big deal to distinguish the two, because everybody, on the team was like, I've reached out, I've done my 3 reaches. I'm like, really? How many times have you shared your 30-second story? They're like, oh, yeah. So there's a big difference with that. Follow up for me, I am so persistent and urgent yet patient, and I have a lot of value added follow up. So I ask a lot of questions when I first get to know someone. So I always have in my back pocket the ability to send a podcast, a book, a recipe, something funny, like a meme. It's a single mom. She was hilarious. So I'm going to send her a really funny meme on like mom life tonight. Like, it was so great to meet you. We've already connected and set a play date, but just another reminder of who I am, that I'm not going to be here to enroll her in Isagenix. I'm going to be here to add value to her life as a single mom. And that's what my follow-ups look like. So I have lists that are cold, warm, warmer, hot. And this may help you to realize that if you're trying to share an incentive promotion like free enrollment with someone that's cold or even just warm, there's a reason why you might get crickets, or there's a reason why if you look and it's only been like your follow-up has been either a promotion or are you ready yet, or whatever those messages are. That's why we have to have value added follow-up up until their timing. And some people enroll after two conversations, and some people enroll after 12 or 22. It just really depends on the person. So I'm really adamant on people understanding who you are and what your character is by showing them the type of person you are when you're following up. What do you remember that's personal about them, that's extremely meaningful to people? Do you know their kids' names? Do you know their spouse's name? Do you know where they work? Do you know if they love what they do? Do you know what are they into? What are their hobbies? What are their, different things that they love? So that's what I love gathering. And presentations are anything that leads to an enrollment for me or someone on my team.
Awesome. All right. So I think you look at reach outs a little different than some people do. So I think you really 10x the reach out part of it. So that might be something that really helps everyone as you guys are trying to do this. And it is a numbers game, isn't it, DelRae? DelRae, isn't it?
Yes. Yep, it is.
It is. The more people you talk to, the more people will enroll, and the more people that enroll, you'll find those few that are ready to do the business with you.
Absolutely.
Do you find that your skills keep getting better and then your ratios therefore get better?
Yeah, and I honestly feel like sometimes, as you continue to grow in success, I liked the beginning when it was level playing ground. Sometimes it's just like very interesting when you reach certain levels of achievement, people think you're not the same person. So I'm constantly having to share the beginning part of my story to be relatable. And when I do 3-way calls, I'm DelRae, like the mom of 2 girls. Stars and circles don't mean anything to people. And so I always want that communication between myself and anyone, somebody that's cycling 1 time a week, somebody that's a brand new consultant, to be there. I believe that the business of the 21st century always puts customers first, and it's open communication from the top down and the bottom up. And that the leader is always reachable and open, and somebody that cares, about everyone. So I'm leading with that. And I think if we do that more often, more people are going to understand what we have at Isagenix is extremely unique.
Yeah, it so is. And I think that's why you're so successful. You really come from a place of being such a sincere and genuine person, and you really do care about the people that you're trying to impact. And that does distinguish you as a leader. And that's what we all want to learn to get better and better and better at. All right, so let's just talk about some top tips. We're just going to go a few more minutes here. Top tips that you can share with everyone, things that you've done that really have made a difference for you in your business.
Okay, so state change. If you're in a rut, it's like immediate. I actually went to Tony Robbins UPW and it was game changer. So for me, because I was wiped out after training this weekend, like big time. I know my body and the difference between like pushing through just a little bit of energy that I need for an afternoon versus my brain is fried. I can't think. I need an entire day off of social media, which I did today. And I needed to be super present with my little one. She missed me a lot, and that was it. You know, and now that I have built residual income, like I look at that as such a huge gift, but understand no matter where you are on this journey, no one will die if you don't post for a day. You know, you have to have your mental clarity, energy up, and you have to have the right state when you go out there to do a big blitz or push in your business. So I take care of my body and my mind every day because it's what's needed in order to up level and really, like you said, 10x the results that I want to see. So a morning routine is a non-negotiable. Gratitude journal, non-negotiable, a podcast, whether I have 15 minutes in the shower, getting ready, driving to pick up Gianna, walking to the park. She's probably going to know, like, honestly, this munchkin knows everything. She knows what's in a value pack and what the flavors are. It's so cute. She knows, you know, different leaders on the team and their voices. And it's because that's a constant. I pick up one word, one sentence. I always pick up something, and I'm constantly trying to think of how I can improve as a leader. So be diligent about your morning routine and be diligent about really knowing how you feel throughout the day. If you are really dreading reaching out, if you just don't feel like doing an event, start to really get back to the emotional connection of alignment in how you feel doing this. Because joy in that process is so important, because no one will join a team of somebody that just simply doesn't feel and have that state of intention about why you're doing what you're doing. So that would be my biggest piece of advice, is get super consistent in your routine. And I always go like this to my team. I'm like, what are you focusing on today? And I tap my forehead, because what thoughts are at the front of your forehead is what is going to happen. It is all about intention and focus. And do you know how many people you're going to enroll that week? Do you know who you're rank advancing? You know, I have big white pieces of Office Max paper. I know where people are going. I know how many enrollments there are this month. And I put in the number. You know, 20 people every month is the number I write down. Whether it happens or not, it's my intention and it's my focus to enroll that amount of people or rank advance. So I think that's important. You got to know what you want and then reverse engineer your action plan and get your energy up. It's funny because there's a few people I talk to on my team and they're like, I just don't know what's going on. I'm like, how are you feeling about your business? I am so frustrated. I cannot believe people won't do this. People won't do that. I said, okay, this is where we need to start. There's got to be a palpable feeling about your business that is above the line.
Yeah, my daughter says that she uses that one all the time. I'll talk to her and she'll be like, I'm below the line, Mom. I've got to get above the line. She uses that a lot. And I do, you know, I haven't gone to one of Tony's 4-day events. I really need to do that.
Oh my gosh.
But I do listen to him all the time. So I listen to, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'll put him on YouTube and it's constantly going in. So I catch myself, like I didn't even present this weekend, and I came home exhausted from the Essence tour. And so I did good through my morning calls and I had some coaching calls. And then this afternoon I started to really not feel it. And I had to be fired up and ready to go tonight for our calls tonight. And I've got some more coaching calls after this. So you have to figure out what it is for you that gets you into state. Some people just, all it is a favorite song, loud. Some people, like I've got the oil diffuser going on. I have a salt lamp next to me. I put peppermint oil on my temples. I took a double shot of Ionics. I had an e-shot this afternoon. So whatever it is for you, you've got to figure that out and know how to get yourself into state, because you can change it pretty quickly once you get skilled at this, can't you?
Music and movement. You can't like change your state on your butt. Like you got to get up and you got to literally jump up and down. If you saw my day, everybody that knows me on my team is just like, oh my gosh. But you know who does this? Kathy Coover. We were in the back before we spoke, and literally jumping up and down, it gets you into a different state. So you know what? I believe in all of you. You just believe in yourself more in the next 90 days than you have ever believed ever before. And map out a crystal clear vision of what you want. On January 1st, what's happening? What do you feel? You have to start visualizing the feeling of exactly where you're going to be, who you're going to be with, what does it smell like, what does it taste like? If you're going for Disney, what does it look like? What kind of emotion would you see taking your family there? That's the state of intention that I get myself in every single day. And it's just so beautiful because everything I pictured, from my mom retiring to my parents, we're renting a house on Clearwater Beach for their 40th wedding anniversary and my mom's 60th birthday. And it is going to be literally the best gift I could have ever. It's going to be the most fulfilling feeling in the world, but I've kept picturing that for the last 3 years of being able to gift to them like that. And you realize then when you feel like crap, you can't look in the mirror and be like, that was so worth it on the days I didn't feel like doing it, to be able to do that for them. So anyway, okay, I got to make dinner.
All right. Thank you so much for your time tonight. We are so grateful for you, and I just adore you. I love how you are just such a kind spirit and so willing to help other people, and how much you give back. Thank you for being such an amazing trainer this weekend. You got us all fired up, and we will see you at New Year's kickoff.
Sounds good. Bye, you guys.